For the Bitcoin price, we find ourselves right now in a crossroads situation. Today we will talk about whether we will go more into the very bearish scenario or whether we will go more into a very bullish scenario, and we will also include exact price targets for that. So if you are already looking forward to it, and you can be looking forward to it, make sure you take a seat, you smash up that like button right now. And that being said, welcome crypto friends and welcome back to MMCrypto. My name is Chris. And as always, guys, we are really pumped to go straight into the content. So today we will be talking about a very bullish scenario, a very bearish scenario, and guys, a little twist, we will also talk about some kind of a wildcard scenario, which is not like in Alessio Rastani's case, a very bearish one, still bullish one. It is actually one which is really in between of the bullish and the bearish scenario, and it's a very likely one, and it is one we should be looking out for. So make sure you stay here up until the end. Let's start with the bullish scenario, and you will be a little bit surprised maybe because we have included some kind of Elliott wave theory. The reason is not that we are strong believers in the Elliott wave theory, especially because you can only judge it afterwards, ex post. But it is very interesting if you bring it in alignment with some other things you are looking out for. So that is what we are doing right now before we go into the bearish scenario and then the wildcard one. And it is actually really interesting. So for the Elliott wave theory, you know that it is going in 5 waves. One wave to the upside, and then you have the corrective wave which definitely shouldn't have a lower low, and then you have a more stronger wave to the upside, corrective wave, and the last one is obviously the brutal wave to the upside. And okay, so let's bring some other things into alignment to see if this has some legitimacy. And we can already tell you this one is already, like right now at the time of recording, somehow like not validated anymore. But we will talk about that exactly in this episode. So that's why the other scenarios are way more important at the moment. So if we are drawing that here, and we kind of find ourselves, even though not everyone is talking about this, many people are showing some kind of wedges by pennants, but this is more something like a wedge maybe. So we find ourselves in this situation, and usually the bullish scenario would have shown us something more like a target or a bouncing target of this, but we broke that during the night to the downside already. So we cannot bounce from here to the upside anymore. What we are looking out for right now is more either the bearish scenario or the wildcard one, and we think that the wildcard one is way more likely. Let's go into the bearish scenario, which is also a little bit more leaning towards the Elliott wave one, but we are bringing the Fibonacci one also into consideration and some findings from Da Vinci J15. So here you know that if we are not in this 5-wave upwards trend according to Elliott wave, we should be in an ABC corrective wave. Why? Everyone could ask at the moment, why is it not like this? Why is this wave not behaving like this here? You know the reason why, and this, I mean, according to that, this should have already ended. This would have been the corrective one, but it's not. It's definitely not. We are still, if this is the bearish scenario, we are still in the bearish case here with the ABC corrective waves, and we will find lower lows according to that scenario. And the reason is that this low here over there, it was not lower. Where is it here? The brush. This low here was not a lower low. And that's the reason why, if we are in the bearish scenario, this was A, this is B, and that we are still up to a very corrective wave number, which is C. And C, according to Elliott wave, is always the most corrective one, which will bring us further to the downside. So here we would have a price target either of the 50% Fibonacci retracement level or of the 61.8. We have drawn that obviously from the bottom in January up until the high which we met in June. So if this is the case, then we still think that 8,500 is way more likely than 7,200. And the reason for that is, if we are going, perfect, we are already in the 3-day chart. If we are going here, the one thing we are looking out for, and actually it's said that not a lot of people are looking out for that, is that the golden cross, which hit here, which was actually a very bullish sign also for the price, is something very interesting for the Bitcoin market, because if you zoom out, this one was always acting as significant support throughout the whole bull market. The Bitcoin price always respected the 50 period moving average on the 3-day chart, and it never ever went below. This was such a huge and strong support for the Bitcoin price that we were never ever going below. You can see that right here. No matter how high we retraced, we never ever went below. And this is exactly what we think is, even if we are going into a bearish scenario, going to happen right here also. So if we were to break this bullish pennant here, and if we were going more to the downside, which is like, let's go and let's check it out. If we were to break 10,000, approximately 9,800, 10,000 right here, then 8,500 is a very likely target, because once this happens, like within the next 3, 6, 9 days or so, the moving average, the 50 period moving average, will line exactly with the 50% Fibonacci retracement level, and which will provide even higher support. If this price were to break the 50 period moving average on the 3-day, this would really break the macro structure of the market, because we have never ever broken this one in a bull market, in a bull trend, in a bull market. We have never ever broken this one. So if we were to break this one, which is a very, very unlikely in our opinion, this would be bloody bearish. We don't think it is. So the bearish scenario is still a very bullish one, because it means that in the very, very bad case, not the worst case, in our opinion, 8,500 will be still the local bottom. It would still be a little bearish, because we would break the previous lows. This is the bearish scenario. Now the wildcard scenario, because this is the one we want to really be looking out for. Everyone was looking at this kind of formation right here, where we thought, and it was very legitimate to think that we hit the upper and the lower trend line a lot of times. And usually in this kind of formation here, you want to see a continuation to the upside, because I mean, the overall bias is upside. The overall bias is upside. So once we are breaking it, the higher likelihood is to break it to the upside. But guys, everyone knows that we broke it to the downside. So what does that mean? We were zooming out a little bit, and what we can see, where we can see ourselves, is something like just a clone of this, but in a higher time frame. Okay, we had 2 touch points right here, we had 2 touch points right there. Already 2 touch points, and this is already very good. If it were only 1 touch point per side, it wouldn't be all too good. So what we are looking out for right now is maybe guys, bouncing around right here. And now really it is getting interesting, because the more we go into the more we zoom out, these kind of pennants are even more likely to break to the upside, where the overall trend goes. Of course, if we are here, we were here on the 4-day hours, on the 4-day candles, really zoomed into the market, the likelihood is higher to go to the upside, but it's not like an 80-20% ratio or 75-25% ratio. But the more we zoom out, the higher the likelihood actually is to break more, where the overall bias is going to. So in this triangular, or like in this kind of triangle scenario in the wildcard one, we think that a very high likelihood is that we still can bounce right here, and this price level is 9,800, and this would be actually very bullish, because even though we are going below the 10,300 level we mentioned in yesterday's episode with DaVinci J15, even though we are going below the 10,000 level, which we were looking at in another scenario, hitting a price target of 9,800, 9,500, 9,600, let it be whatever it wants, it would still be in alignment with that trend, and we would still find a higher high. So this is actually a very bullish scenario, even though it's in the middle of the both scenarios, because if we were to break either here or more likely over here at the downside, this is the most likely scenario, then we are still in a bullish trend. Man, what's happening here? You know, we have multiple screens, and sometimes it's getting a little hard if you are pressing another mouse here on the mouse pad. So this is the most likely scenario. So the price target, the exact price target we are looking out for right now, is no matter, it depends on when we are hitting it, but somewhere between 9,500 to 9,800. This is the target we are looking out for right now. And only if we are breaking this to the downside, 8,500 will be the next price target. Only if we are breaking 9,500 to 9,800, 8,500 will be the next price target. If we were to bounce here, we would go more towards the long side and see if we can break this one here to the upside. And then our price target would still be, guys, it is still, if we are breaking this one to the upside, if we find now a new local highs, 16,000, guys. 16,000 is still in place if we were going to hit that. We are not irrational boon boys. It can take 2-3 months, but we are here also looking in a time frame of 2 or 3 months. So guys, let us know what you think about that. And now we have a very important news regarding Goldman Sachs. And we really want to incentivize you to listen to that, because it seems like if we are looking at the YouTube space that everyone is very bullish on that. We have some points to mention, and it will really clear your mind. Make sure you stay here. Before we do so, we want to announce something very important, because we are very glad and proud to have onboarded some friends as new supporters and sponsors of our channel. We can tell you, we didn't do that by any accident. We did our research and we know them since more than a year. And we have great news to announce for them. This is about Agora, and they won the voting for the Binance DEX. So they will be listed on the Binance DEX on the 28th of August, which is very soon. So we will start with a little bit to talk about the narrative, about the tech, about the token metrics, which might be the most important ones, and tell you why we exactly decided to onboard them as supporters. So they, and that's one of the most important reasons, their narrative is a very ethical, correct one. They are not going for like leverage trading and stuff, what we are here for, which is fine, but it's not like really ethical, like this very correct thing. They are going for secure and transparent digital voting. We leverage the unique attributes of blockchain technology to design the generation of voting systems for governments and organizations. You know, we are really like at least like a little close to being Bitcoin maximalists, but we still have a little basket of altcoins we like. And I mean, there are so few use cases for blockchains where we think that makes sense. Voting is one of course, then supply chain is one, but we don't have a lot of use cases which make sense, but voting makes sense. And the reason why we say this one is ethical correct is because they make voting more transparent. Let's put all this financial stuff like the Binance DEX listing and stuff aside. We will talk about that also before we go into the Goldman Sachs news, but they have actually supported countries like Sierra Leone already, Congo already. They had multiple use cases throughout the last few years, and that was something, you can see it here on the roadmap. They started 2015. We started to be in contact with them in 2018 or so, and we checked that out. They had a presidential use case in Sierra Leone and so on. So really they are working hard since day one, which was a very great thing. They have a very ethical, correct narrative, which was very important for us. And their team is also one of a kind, especially Leonardo, who actually, I think he won his first prize with 8 or so. I mean, it's really crazy. You should check out their team right there. And which was very important for us is to check out the token metrics, because in the end, we are all here for the same reason. So there is an article about the token metrics. We will leave the link, not only the link but to the website, but also the link to the Telegram group in the description. And on the website, you can find the token metrics. And especially for Binance DEX listings, that might be somehow interesting for you guys, because a lot of people in our community are actually looking out for Binance DEX listings or for Binance listings and only for Binance stuff. So this might be somehow interesting for you guys. Please check it out and you will find the token metrics here. You will know 20 million. MMCrypto will say so much, but the good news is they have raised like nearly everything already, and all they are asking for right now in their upcoming raise is only 500,000. They are only raising 500,000 and the rest is already allocated. And some good news, we will just put it out there, is that they will allocate a reasonable amount of funds to market making, which is so important at the moment, because as you know, the majority of people are looking at Bitcoin, and altcoins can get slaughtered when you don't have proper market making in place. So also there is the Binance DEX announcement. You can check it out and actually see how they got listed, how they got voted for that. It was really interesting. It was actually an easy game for them towards some competitors. So you will see that they will get listed on Binance DEX, and they have this current round details where you can participate if you make your own research. If you like it, if you don't like it, put it aside. Just go on to the Goldman Sachs news. But make sure you check that out. We will leave the links in the description down below. We actually think this might be interesting. I think the most important part for everyone who thinks, okay, I might be looking into that, is that this huge amount of tokens which were sold previously, they are the majority of it is locked up. And the small portion right now in the public one, the 500K, this one is not locked up. There is a 10% bonus which will be locked up, but the 500K will not be locked up. But the majority of the already raised funds, it is locked. If you can see it right here, 100% locked, 100% locked, 100% locked. So guys, there is not all too much dumping pressure, especially if you have some market makers in place to back that up once the trading starts, maybe here on the 23rd of August. Make sure you check it out. We will leave. We want to highly incentivize you. If you are interested, the first step should be going into the Telegram group. The link is in the description down below. And that being said, we told you we didn't onboard them as sponsors and supporters for no reason. We did it for a very good reason. So make sure you check it out. We think it's interesting. Kind regards to our friend here, Leonardo Gamma. Yeah, guys, check it out. Check it out. And now we want to go into the Goldman Sachs news, because if you are screening the YouTube space, you saw that so many people are talking about the Goldman Sachs news as something positive. You know what's positive? It was positive that they decided to invest into Bitcoin, but they did it and they didn't talk about it. It is very important to recognize and to understand it. So you can see here, we were chilling with David Solomon, who is the CEO of Goldman Sachs. That was in, the photo is from July, but it was during the World Economic Forum in January, February. And that was maybe somehow around the time they got involved. They got involved earlier on also, but this was the bullish times when Bitcoin was at 3,000, when Bitcoin was at 4,000. This was the exact bullish time when we were chilling with them there at this private event, and he was a DJ and we were partying and dancing together. That was the bullish time. Guys, short the banks. We are not friends with Goldman Sachs. This is actually a very nice guy, but in the end, we all know what Goldman Sachs is aiming for, and this is not what we want. But we want to tell you this was the bullish time. Right now, when they are going out and disclosing to the mainstream, buy Bitcoin, this is actually not good. This is a sign maybe they want to sell to their investors. They want to sell to the crowd. Because, guys, we shouldn't forget, if you go back in time, what did Goldman Sachs to Greece? They suckered out all what they have, actually. And what did Goldman Sachs do to the whole financial world when they were selling their mortgage-backed securities prior to the financial crisis? Everyone knows what Goldman Sachs is doing. They are so smart. Some people say they are evil, but they are so smart. And we don't say that it's good, but we just want to make you aware of the fact. Oh, they are also using Elliott Wave. Look at that. We want to make you aware of the fact that Goldman Sachs is not our friend. Goldman Sachs is not our friend. When they are saying buy Bitcoin, there can be some other reason behind it. We just want to make you aware of that. Make sure you tweet out here our tweet. Don't think that we are best friends. This is actually a very nice guy. We have to say it like it is. But we are not friends with Goldman Sachs, the corporation. Okay? Just understand that as it is. Make sure you tweet out the tweet and let us know. Do you think the Goldman Sachs news is very bullish? Do you think the Goldman Sachs news is very bearish? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below right now. And also today is the last day of the Bybit competition. not competition, of the free giveaway of $110 bonus. All you have to do is click the link in the top of the pinned comments, click it, register. It takes like 20, 25, 26 seconds for 0.2 Bitcoin deposit. You get $110 free bonus, and for 6 Ethereum deposit, you get also $110 free bonus. You cannot combine it either or, but that might be something very nice. Give them 24 hours of time to deposit it onto your account, but for 30 or 40 seconds, you get $110 for free. This is the last day. This is the last chance. Right now, you snooze, you lose. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash up the like button. A Bybit tutorial is popping up right here. Click it right now. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other at the next episode of MMCrypto. Also, very important, everyone who wants to meet us in Hamburg, there is also a link, a Google Forms in the description down below for our meetup. It's nearly full already, so make sure you fill it out right now. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other at the next one of MMCrypto. And as always, guys, bye-bye.